Let's go ahead and look at the Rams and Colts from week 2. It was a heck of a game, actually. Very close game. A little bit closer than I anticipated. I'll be completely honest with you guys. But the Rams were able to pull out the victory in this one, 27-24. Pretty good game. It's kind of interesting because it almost looked like the Rams weren't playing that well. It seemed like there was something left out there on the field that we just, it just didn't feel 100% right. But also, I mean, that's a huge plus that the Rams were able to get a win when it felt like that, because the Colts were coming off of a home loss to the Seattle Seahawks. So they're now 0-2 at home. That's a rough way to start your season. So they come in off of the home loss to the Seahawks. They're getting a little bit desperate. The AFC's a tough conference to play in. They know they got a team like the Tennessee Titans, who is also they're super competitive. The Texans look okay. I think that it's only a matter of time before they just kind of fall apart. And then, of course, you got the Jags too. But with the Colts specifically, they came in, they were hungry, man. They wanted that game, and they've got a good team up there. And the Rams it didn't feel like they could really get it going how they should, or how they did, I should say, in week 1 against the Chicago Bears. But still were able to come out with the win, and that's really all you can ask for. So for this game, we got the game badge coming back again. This time, last week it went to Matthew Stafford. This week, it's going to Cooper Kupp. 9 receptions on 10 targets, 163 yards, and 2 tutties, man. Cooper Kupp had an absolute day. He and Matthew Stafford are on a different level, man. They're playing really, really good football together, and I'm really excited to see how that kind of develops and the continuation of that relationship that these two have built so far. It's been really fun to watch, even just through the training camp and through the early part of the season. It's been really fun to watch how Matthew Stafford is connecting with different guys. Like Robert Woods, maybe not getting all the targets right now, but hey, if Cooper Kupp is doing it too, and I've got some good numbers on Cooper Kupp. We'll talk about that in the 3 to see actually on the game preview here a little bit later on. We got some good stuff on Kupp, but Cooper Kupp obviously doing a great job to start the season. He's currently 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards. And like I said, this connection is just now starting. So I'm really excited for Kupp this season. And I know that I've been on the train that Cooper Kupp could be a potential trade candidate. But hey, he's still around and he's kicking some butts here. So I'm here for it, man. I'm not a Kupp hater at all. I think Kupp is an awesome player. But also, I think it's worth noting that I think we're seeing we've seen the first 2 games of what will have been the best Cooper Kupp season in his NFL career. I think that we're seeing that begin. We're in week 2, heading into week 3. We're seeing the beginning of his best season so far. So it's going to be really fun to watch, guys. Keep your eyeballs peeled on number 10, Cooper Kupp. Not to be confused with Cooper Pup, who is the Rams dog. Is he still around? Actually, I haven't seen anything on Cooper Pup. Did he get adopted by like a player or something? That'd be cool. Let's see. Let's go over. Let's talk about Kenny Young. All right, Kenny Young. He's a little bit of a breakout guy this year. He was playing really well last year, especially late in the season. The progression was very evident. And if you guys aren't aware of Kenny Young or know his genesis of the Rams, he actually came to the Rams from the Baltimore Ravens as part of that Marcus Peters trade. So I know a lot of Rams fans at the time were like, Kenny Young, who the heck is this? Like, we lose Marcus Peters for a linebacker we've never heard of, and then now look at him. He's a starter. He's playing awesome. Unfortunately, in the game against the Indianapolis Colts, he did lose his cool just a little bit. He got a little fired up and made some incidental contact with a referee, which led to him getting disqualified from the rest of the game. So it was unfortunate to see. And you don't want to see any of these guys lose their cool, and especially enough to be kicked out of the game. That's when it starts to hurt the team. You like to see the passion, you like to see the energy, but when it comes to hurting the team and actually getting ejected from the game, that's when it does become a problem. But I also think that Kenny Young is such a passionate player, and the way that he gets in on some of these plays and stuff, the fire is there. And if anything, him getting kicked out of that game last week, like, I hate to say it's a good thing, but it happened, and no matter what we say today, we cannot take it back. We cannot go back to the Colts game and get him back in the lineup. So because what happened, what we can do now is we can all kind of learn from the situation. Mainly here, Kenny Young is the one that is learning from the situation. We can kind of learn some things about how he will handle the situation, but that's exactly what he needs to learn, is how to handle that situation. So, you know what? I like Kenny Young. I think he's a good guy. I think he's super passionate, and I think that he now has a little bit of an understanding that the passion has to be maintained and controlled in some capacity. And this is a great example of it. It's really unfortunate that you have to learn that via ejection, but I think that Kenny Young is a smart enough player that he can gather his thoughts enough to say, like, okay, the passion's good there, but I cannot let it get that far. And I think that that's really good. Another positive, too, is because I watched the games in a weird way a little bit. So I watched the game. I watched that happen. And I wanted, after it was announced that he was getting, after the situation happened, actually, I was kind of watching because you could feel that he was going to get ejected. Contact with the ref basically always leads to an ejection. I don't know a situation where it hasn't. But I was watching him specifically, and I wanted to see how he handled himself in just that situation. If he was waiting to get ejected and then maybe go off, anything like that. One thing that I really, really loved, though, about this team specifically was that Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey both went up to him and had those conversations with him. They went face-to-face, face masks touching, and had a conversation with him. And I love to see that. I love to see that leadership. And Kenny Young is one of the leaders, too. So it's cool to be able to see them kind of transfer that leadership, and when somebody needs it, somebody else is there. You know what I mean? And Aaron Donald, I mean, he's the clear leader of this defense. He's somebody that Jalen Ramsey even goes to. We've heard from Ramsey about that, of like, if he's getting too crazy, Aaron Donald's the one that when he says you need to do this or rein it in or something, that's the guy he listens to. So for Kenny Young specifically, I'm really excited to see how he responds to this. So this game against the Bucs this week, it's of course a very big one. And it would be a very bad one to get ejected from. I don't think that that's going to happen 2 weeks in a row. And I'm really excited to see how Kenny Young responds to getting kicked out of the week 2 game and how he handles himself the rest of the season. Because the passion is very good, but I mean, you have to have a cap on it at some point. And I loved the passion. I liked that it was there. And it's almost unfortunate that it happened with contact with a ref, because it was just kind of bad placement, I guess, so... But Kenny Young, man, I know that some fans are being a little harsh on Kenny Young. I guess that's why I'm saying all this, is because I think that he's a very good player, and I think that he's gonna learn from this, and I think he's gonna be better because of it. It's unfortunate that it had to happen, but I think we come out stronger on the other side. Also, let's talk about Darrell Henderson as well, too. He did leave the game with a rib issue. His status is a little bit up in the air for this game this weekend. They will be talking about, of course, on the second half here. Also, guys, I've been guesting on the Bucs Report. They've got a bunch of different shows on there. It's always really fun because I never know who I'm talking to. I just get sent a link. Like I get asked if I'm free, what times I'm available. I schedule it out. So like, I don't get told anything. I just get sent a link. I don't even know who I'm going to talk to. And I just kind of pop up on screen and they're like, hey, we got Sheriff Joe Bags here to talk about the LA Rays. And then we're just talking about the game. So I don't know. It's really fun, but we'll be doing that again. If you guys want to find the Bucs Report or just Bucs Report, I'll be there at 7:00 Pacific time on Thursday. I'll be doing another guest spot on one of their shows. I don't even know which one. All I was told is that we might bring up the song Ram It. That's all I've gotten. I don't even know who I'm talking to, so it'll be fun. But Darrell Henderson had 13 carries for 53 yards, did leave the game, and then Sony Michel actually came in, played some good football at the end there. He was running hard. That was good to see. But it just felt like the Rams were leaving something out there on the field, and that a big part of that does go to the running game. Again, this is the second week in a row that it kind of looked like the running game was just a little unorganized, especially up front with the blocking. So I do still anticipate that getting better over time, but let's not pretend like the Rams running game isn't an issue. All right, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it and say like, hey, we got Michelle, we got, Hendo will be back in just a couple of weeks if he misses any time at all. I like Jake Funk, and I can say all that stuff, and that is all true. But we still need to see the production. Potential doesn't pay the bills. The production does. You know what I mean? Like Ram Showcase has all the potential in the world. But, is the production there? Well, I like to think it is. So I'll let you guys decide. But, yeah, a big part of that's the running game. So Henderson missing time at all would be very unfortunate to see. We don't want to see that at all. But I did like what we saw out of Sony Michel later on. So, I don't know, it just felt like we run a tighter ship than what we did in Indianapolis. Does that feel real to anybody else? with the Kenny Young ejection, with just some of the way that the plays were unfolding, just kind of, it's like we're sharper than that, you know. And I'm just glad we were able to come out with a win there, and some drop passes and the occasional spotty coverage. It just left a little bit more to be desired. Just wanted just a little bit more, out of it. Rams fans, the best kind of human being in the universe. You guys made it all the way to the end of the video, which I do appreciate. You know what I would appreciate even more though? If you guys hit the subscribe button. It's right here. It's very simple. And if you guys liked this clip, I'm sure you did, and I'm sure you're going to love the entire podcast. It's right over here. Watch it. It's over an hour of just Rams. That's pretty awesome stuff. Peace. Go Rams.